departments like ECE, CCE, CSE and mechanical department. So, for mapping the basic electronics course, every department will do that. Means let us say in ECE department we have 140 students. So, for mapping the 140 students will be done by the ECE department and respectively for the other departments, right. So, today we will do the mapping for ECE department first year basic electronics lab, right. So, to start the session or to start the mapping, we need few documents, let us say CIF of the course with COPO mapping, and also we need the question papers of mid-sem, end-sem, quizzes and other components. Other components may consist of assignment or maybe presentation and etc. So, let us talk about the basic electronics lab. The assessment is like that, means assessment means here the evaluation methods. So, for example, quizzes, the weightage of the quizzes is 45 marks, lab report is 10 marks and final examination means in term is 45. So, total must be equal to 100, and we must remember that whenever we are entering the data, that data cannot be erased or modified later. So, we need to be careful while entering the data. So, the first step is to log in the OBE OBE Mastersoft, and after logging EINWB. So, here you can see that whenever you will open the website, you will see that the dashboard. So, here you are not allowed to enter any data because it has been already entered by the head of the department, right. So, directly you have to go to the OBE process. You have to go to the OBE process, and after that you have to go to the section that is course outcome CO. Since the website is quite slow, little slow, so we need to be. After that, then you have to in course name you have to choose the course name, that is Basic Electronics Lab. Then the final status. So, in final status we have two options, that is approve and draft. So, we have to choose approve, we do not have to choose the draft. If you will not choose the approve, so basically for faculty members, the four sections you have to complete, that is course outcome, COPO mapping, assessment components and question paper creation. So, right. So, for the assessment here, that is evaluation method, I have already shown you that it may consist of quizzes, lab report and end term. So, First step is to complete or to enter the data for course outcome of that course, right. So, when you choose, when you go to the course outcome, then first you have to choose the name of that course. Let us today we are going to complete the mapping for basic electronics lab, which is related to ECE department. Then you have to choose the status. So, default you have to choose the approve. Yes. 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 It will be automatic. Yes. It is in the drop down. For you, no. It will come. Whatever is assigned. So, for today we are doing mapping for the ECE department, right? So, definitely you will get the basic electronics lab. You are not getting?
Is it related to the concerned faculty, those who are taking?
Yeah. Whatever the course has been assigned, like for me it is data.
Yes, exactly. The course is assigned to particular faculty members. He or she can log in. He or she can do.
You can see that.
Yes. So, this course has been not assigned to you. Yes. So, when you will provide when you will choose the status, let us say I am going to choose the approve. We are recording already. So, when you have selected the final status, that is approve, then here you can see that the CO name, CO description, Bloom's associated level and knowledge level. So, you have to click on plus, then you will get CO1. So, you have to just directly copy and paste from the soft copy of the CIF of that course.
No, in my case, I have this course name, but I don't have any drop down in final status part.
No, it's not like that.
So that's something which is strange. I have this course name.
For data structure, it is not enabled right now. For basic electronics lab only.
So who will be enabling it? Who will be enabling
The software team, they will enable after lunch. As of now. As of now, we are doing only for the basic electronics lab. So, for the basic electronics laboratory, there are 6 COs. So, just I am going to copy and paste one by one. Then the Bloom level. So, in our CIF, we have done mapping with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. So, here you can see the name of that Bloom level, that is understand, apply, analysis, analyze and create. So, it is as per it is in sequence, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, you have to closely observe your CIF of that course and do the mapping. Let us say, as per the CIF of basic electronics laboratories for CO1, the Bloom level is 1, 2, 3. So, we have to choose the first, that is understand, apply and analyze. Then knowledge level. So, whether it is conceptual, metacognitive or procedural. So, you have to choose accordingly. So, we have to skip this step. We don't have to choose anything. Then we have to map, enter the second CO. So, you have to just press on the plus sign. Then similarly we can do for the other CO. सबमिट नहीं जाएगा ना, सिर्फ मुझे साइन हुआ है. हाँ, ये बोल दिया. 3 and 4. So, 3 and 4 means evaluate and create. 2 and 4. Two and 4. Velvet. CO4 6. One and 2. So finally, we have entered all the COs. Then after that, you have to submit. And if you want to see the submitted data, then you can go to the print data. Here you have to click the print data. Then you can see all the entered data. So after entering on the print data, you have to select the course, and in this way you can see the submitted data. Fine. So can I go ahead? So we have completed the course outcome of basic electronics laboratory. Then we will go for the CO-PO mapping. Okay. So again, PO has been, CO has been, that is course outcome and program outcome. So course outcome will be entered by the faculty member. However, the program outcome has been entered by the head of the department. So again, here we will do the mapping. So for that, you need the CIF of that course, means soft copy or hard copy. So you have to choose the program first. And here I would like to inform you that we are focusing on the Y18 batch, second semester. So we have to enter the data for Y18 second semester students. So here again we will have to choose the status, that is approve or draft. So default we will choose approve. Then here you can see that the list of COs with the POs and PSO, program specific outputs, right. So here you can see that there is a slider. This is basically a slider. The minimum value is 0 and the maximum value is 3. So you can map this table using the help of CIF of that course. So let us say the basic electronics laboratory, first CO and first program outcome, the mapping will be, the maximum point will be 3. Simply you have to slide. Similarly for CO2, let us say in CIF, for example, I am showing for CO1 there is no mapping with PO4. So it means that you have to enter the data default 0. CO4 and PO9. PO12. PO3. PSO1 333, PSO1, PSO2. हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
इसको क्या करते हैं गूगल क्रोम पे ना एक लिंक शेयर करके इसको ये जो चीज़ है ना गूगल क्रोम पे शेयर कर दो।
ऑलरेडी जो है रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है।
नहीं वो तो हम बोले हैं तो बोले रिकॉर्डिंग वहाँ की चल रही है ना, ये दिखाई नहीं देगा।
ठीक है, कर देंगे बाद में देखेंगे. Right, so we have completed the CO, PO and PSO mapping. Now we will go to the third section, that is assessment. So again you can see the submitted data using the print data. So here you can see the submitted data, that is 3 means high, 2 means moderate, 1 means low and 0 means no, we have not mapped. Now we will go to the assessment components. So we have to choose the program, that is 18-19. So here we are doing for the 18-19 first semester basic electronics lab. So we have to choose the session, that is 18-19 semester 1, course, that is basic electronics laboratory, and exam. So here the exam will depends on your evaluation method. So right now let us go ahead with the quiz, lab report and final exam, or I can replace this lab exam with the lab report with the midterm, let us say. So we have to choose the exam from this list. So choose from here, that is quiz. Here you have options, that is quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, quiz 4. So let us say by default we are going to choose the quizzes, so that it will consider the marks of all quizzes. So that is quizzes, and the weightage for quizzes are 45 marks. So here it will be 45. Midterm, let us say midterm, and the weightage are 10, and the interim so we have to make sure that all the assessment components must be entered here. If not, then we cannot go ahead. And once you will enter this assessment components, we cannot edit it. So we need to be careful. Now we will go for the last section, that is question paper creation. So again here we will have to choose the session, that is 18-19-1, and here let us say we are going to create the question for quizzes, right. So, quiz may consist of, yes, it may consist of one group, but it depends on the data entered, you have entered on the MIS. Let us say for IVLSI course, I gave the marks for all quizzes in a combined form. I didn't enter for quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3. I enter the data for quizzes, right? And weightage is 45. So, I will enter the data accordingly. So, it depends on the data has been submitted on the MIS portal. So, first we are going to create the question for quizzes. Okay. So, here you have to add in description, let us say we are going to create the questions for quizzes. So, we have to provide the description, that is we have to write quizzes now you have to click on the plus sign. So, here you can see that the question number 1, right. So, ideally it should be mapping according to the questions, the question 1, question 2, question 3.
This isn't question paper creation.
Yes, question paper creation. So, fine. So, here you can see that the question number, that is 1, and question descriptions. So, it is not mandatory to enter the description of that question. You can simply add here the quizzes or all questions you can write here, because we are going to map for the all quizzes in combined form. So, just write all questions. Now, we have to map with the CO. So, in that case it depends on you, how did you prepare the question paper, whether you have covered all the COs in quizzes or not. So, if yes, then you can choose all COs at the same time. If not, then accordingly you will have to choose. Let us say here I am going to choose all. Now, Bloom's taxonomy. So, again you will have to choose according to the questions. Fine. So, here we are going to randomly we are choosing 1 or 2, and the maximum marks. So, here we have assigned the mark for quiz is 45. So, just enter the data, that is 45. So, here once you will enter all the data, we are not going to change the assessment components. So, be careful. Now, for n term, let us say we are going to enter the data for n term. Not exactly. So, here we have entered the description for quizzes basically. So, we will have to submit, then we have to select the question paper creation for, let us say, midterm. Once we have entered the data for quizzes, then we have to submit, and we have to go the next section, that is midterm. So, for midterm, again we are not going to choose the questions, right. We will choose the question paper, one question paper. So, in midterm we have to choose here all questions, we have to write all questions, then CO mapped. So, in midterm we usually we do not cover all COs of that course. So, we will have to choose accordingly. Let us say we have covered the 2 COs of that CIF. So, CO1 and CO2. Then again we will have to choose the Bloom's taxonomy. So, let us say here we have covered the 2 taxonomy, and the maximum marks will remain the same as we have selected, that is 10 marks here. If we will choose here according to the question number, then you will have to assign the question marks for that, marks assigned for that question.
So in the CIF, we are mapping the CO with the Bloom's taxonomy, right?
CO and PO both. PSO also we map.
At the time of writing the COs, we are mentioning the Bloom's taxonomy level, right?
Yes, yes.
Should it match with this one?
Yes, exactly, because it is in sequence wise. Sequentially we have arranged, like analyzed, design, analysis, like that. So, we have done this according to the sequentially, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So, let us say for question number 1, the marks associated with it, let us say 5 marks. For question number 1, the marks is 5. So, here we will have to enter 5, but you have to remember that the total marks for the midterm is 10, right. So, by default or by mistake you can say, let us say here you have entered for question number 1 5 marks and for question number 2 10 marks, then it will not accept. So, the marks associated with all the questions should not exceed the marks for the midterm. So, here for simplicity we have simply written the all questions. So, for all questions the total marks will be 10. So, by default you have to enter here the 10, then you have to submit. Then you have to create the question for end semester exam. So, in in-term exam usually we cover all the COs of that course. So, we will map all COs here. Bloom taxonomy, we need to be careful here. So, since it is in-term exam, so we can select all. And the maximum marks for the end term will be 45.
Weightage and maximum marks are different. Should we go with the marks or weightage?
You should go with the weightage. Let us say weightage means ultimately we are talking about the marks. So, out of 100 you have to talk about.